Hi everybody, I'm Dr. John Douillard and welcome to LifeSpa.com. Today I want to talk about the circadian rhythms with regard to taking your herbs or your medicines. Turns out that about 82% of our genes are turning on and off at different times of day. So our genes, the biological clocks, are totally circadian based. So there should be certain times you take certain herbs or certain medications and other times not to take them. Turns out in one study, 84% of gallbladder attacks took place between around midnight. And it turns out that is a very pitta time of night from the Ayurvedic perspective. Between 10 o'clock and 2 is the pitta time of night. Also turns out that the stomach produces about 2 to 3 times more acid between 10 o'clock and 2 at night. So the body has a tendency to produce more heartburn, acid, indigestion in the middle of the night, has a tendency to produce more gallbladder attacks in the middle of the night. And this is something that Ayurveda talked about, thousands of years ago. Now we have the circadian science to back it up. Certain toxicities you all know that Tylenol has a tendency to deplete an enzyme called NAC, N-acetylcysteine, and how important that is to protect the liver from damage from Tylenol. Well, it turns out that the liver, the Tylenol toxicity takes place in many studies, most of the time during the daytime. And at night, the liver makes an enzyme called NAC to actually protect the body from Tylenol. So taking Tylenol at night, even though it's not a time when you maybe need pain relief, but that's the time the body can tolerate it the best. In the daytime, the liver makes an enzyme called CYP2E1, which is a certain enzyme that helps the body digest food. At nighttime, the liver is about detox, rebuild, repair. The janitors come in, do kind of clean windows and floors. So anything that you're doing to try to help your body detoxify would be better taken at night. They did one study where 56 out of 100 of the medications, the pharmaceutical medications, had circadian rhythms, which means they don't sometimes even work very well if you take them at the wrong time of day. Like aspirin, for example, if you take it in the evening at nighttime, studies show it actually lowers blood pressure, reduces the risk of blood clots. But if you take that same aspirin in the morning, it has no effect on those things at all. So it's really quite amazing. Chemotherapy drugs have been shown to, when you take them, there's an enzyme that we produce that breaks down the chemotherapy drug to help the body detoxify the damaging parts of that drug. And if you take it at midnight, it increases the effectiveness of that by 40%. Also, giving chemotherapy drugs in the evening has been shown to actually kind of attack the cancer cells when they're more vulnerable. And the healthy cells, they say, are more resting and less sensitive, but the cancer cells are more active at night, so that's the time you would want to treat them. Statin drugs have been shown to be more effective when you take them at night as well. So the point of this discussion is that if you're going to take anything that's going to build you up in terms of nourishment, like rasayana therapy in Ayurveda, or food supplements, you would take them during the daytime. But anything you're trying to do to help detoxify your body, which would be liver detoxifying agents, bile flow agents, things like on our website, like liver repair, those things. If you're trying to detoxify your liver, that would be best taken at night. You can also use those same herbs because the herbs we use are whole foods, right? So they're not really detoxifying agents. They're actually whole herbs which have the microbes in them. So they really work either in both ways. They work as food, so they don't overrule the body's intelligence. So you don't end up having times of day where you have really big issues. But if you're trying to build digestion, obviously you take it around the digestive or in the daytime. If you're trying to do rejuvenative therapy like rasayanas, like ashwagandha, things like that are really rebuilding, shatavari, amalaki, these are daytime herbs. And then liver herbs at night to help to detoxify, gugulus at night before you go to bed, triphala, things that are going to clean out your intestinal tract, are all going to be better kind of in the evening and give your body that extra detox sweeping effect before you go to bed. So that's just a really good strategy. Those same liver herbs, don't forget that if you're having liver issues when you eat and you have heartburn as a result of that, and we're trying to detoxify your liver to make more bile so you can have more bile to buffer the acid and more bile to help you go to the bathroom better, then those would be done around the meal as well, right? But when you're taking like nutraceuticals or pharmaceuticals, or you're using herbs, whole herbs, that are specifically aimed at detoxifying the liver, then yeah, the best time to do that would be in the evening according to the science. So I think it's pretty cool, right? More research is being done on the circadian biological clocks and how they turn on and turn off and how they allow certain medications or pharmaceuticals or supplements to work better at different times. Like your mineral supplements, that is a mineral that you're going to use for the day to give you the energy. That would be, you know, during the day or in the morning time as well. All right. Hope that makes sense. There's a really cool article about this science. I think it's really kind of emerging science that we should all be tuning into. And the neat thing is, like in one study with asthma, you know, finally, they found that 50 to 100 times more asthmatic attacks at 4 in the morning. In Ayurveda, between 2 o'clock and 6 in the morning is the Vata time of day. It's the air time of day. It represents the lungs and how that is so critically important. So we have, you know, these imbalances that we see that are prevalent at different times of day emerging in Western science is something that Ayurveda talked about thousands of years ago. So see if it matches up with your own experience. Let us know at LifeSpa.com. Check out the article at LifeSpa.com, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.